Hey, well, I thank you everyone for jumping on the call this morning. Hopefully this won't be too long of a meeting, but I've got a few things I know that and questions that were thrown out there this week, and also a couple things to share as far as just information and things. So there were three questions that were put in this week. The first one was just when do you think, and this is sort of a common question that's been asked, and I don't know if it's the same person, but when do you think that we'll bring our part-time folks back? In particular, this person said your part-time folks are worn out. So, obviously we do these questions and give people the chance to do these anonymously because we want people to feel free to ask the questions they can. I would say that if this is a question this particular staff member has or a concern, to talk to their manager, talk to Bob, talk to me. I want to make sure we kind of know and can kind of be able to identify what specific challenge that person has, and what we can do to possibly help that associate. As I know most of our staff knows right now, especially with the use of part-time staff, we have been engaging part-time staff more and more and more, to the point where, especially on the funeral side, we're, I would say 85% of the way sort of back. We have, obviously some families are not having as many visitations as they used to, or doing things kind of all at one time. But we are seeing, certainly more church services and chapel services, or and things that we're, calling more of our part-time staff for. Also with visitations, I know we have reception staff or funeral director assistants that are coming in and working as well. So, while we're not 100%, we are getting there. I do know as a part of that, one thing that I don't have an idea of when we'll come back is the reception side of things. Obviously, with the whole challenges that COVID brings and gatherings, and specifically food and the challenges with spacing, the reception side of things is something I have no concept of when that may return back. Even just when we do get back to that, what that will even look like. Traditionally, everything we have done has been buffet oriented, and as you all know, buffets are not something usually that's encouraged. So, there are many ways we could possibly work around that, but I'm not sure, how and when and where that will look like, not just for families' comfort level, but I think also for ours too. So that's kind of, the answer specifically for that. For the person that asked that question, I would just really encourage them to, reach out to someone, to kind of, we want to help and we want to be able to kind of know what the challenge is. It's just hard not knowing specifically what that is for that. Question number 2 was, since we have to take our temperature as we come in the door to work, then shouldn't we take the temperature of all people that come in the flower room or the back entry areas, for any type of delivery? I guess the key thing there is kind of the CDC has been really good about the 6 feet, 15 minutes type of thing, if you have noticed. So generally, if somebody's within contact with you within 6 feet for a 15-minute interval, those are generally the challenges of contraction when you're kind of really opening yourself up to more exposure. Most delivery people, whether it be a florist or someone that's delivering things to the funeral home, are in and out. They're in the building to drop something off and they're out. And because of that, there's really not the need to go through the screening processes like that. Well, for staff and for all of us to come in, I get myself checked in every day. I usually joke with George or Kelly, if that's who I'm with, and give them a hard time about it, but I know that they've been very diligent about doing these things. All of us are exposed to each other for the whole workday. And because of that, it's important that we do these, more detailed procedures to make sure that we're being smart about stuff. Someone who's in and out of the funeral home, it's a little different situation, and hence why we kind of use the more heightened sense of delivery. Now, if it is a contractor or somebody that's going to be working near us for an extended period of time, that's a situation we may need to do that, and certainly, I would encourage our staff um, to do that. But that's kind of a good good start. That just remember kind of that inside 6 feet, 15 minutes. Kind of the third question was the reception one, and I kind of lumped that in together. To go back, as most of you all know, we've had some situations with families where families have either contracted COVID from a funeral together by kind of being together, or there was a situation where family members had COVID and didn't disclose it at that time to staff. And it's really important. Number one, I want to say I'm really proud of our staff. I feel like everybody throughout all three of our locations and Richmond Cremation are doing a great job of wearing face coverings, really making sure that we distance ourselves from people coming in the buildings as best we can. It sounds crazy and it's a little cumbersome at times to do these things, but they're for our protection and they're to help us. So it's really important that we, do the things that are going to help protect all of us, not just, things that may seem like they're not important. They really are. And I think that's one of the reasons why we haven't had so far a real run of COVID through the funeral home. You really have to be diligent about these things. I know Jeff Hummel's on the call today, and I think of a funeral Jeff and I had a month and a half ago at a local church where, Jeff and I had our masks on and not everybody else did because the church they were kind of requiring it, but then some people were taking them off. I know for Jeff and I wasn't going to go anywhere near anyone without having a face covering on. It's not worth the risk for our part for something. And it's easy to let our guards down right now, and if we do that, that's when we're really opening ourselves up to the challenges. I also want to really give a shout out to staff too. I was talking with John Hancock, I think yesterday. We've had some families that have been, I would say 99.9% of people that come to the funeral home have their face covering on, are totally understanding of the challenges going on, and knowing that we need to do these things. But you do have that one person that always comes in and, who are you to make me wear a mask and all this? And, I know it's a little bit of a challenge for staff to say, hey, you want to come in, you got to wear it. But, special thanks to everybody for doing that. It really, we can't, for many reasons, we have to have visitors coming to the funeral home to wear their face coverings. Most importantly, to protect them and everyone else that's in the building. So those are kind of the main questions that I had for today. Again, I just want to really kind of hone in on the diligence that we all need to keep doing for stuff. And just also want to really kind of give a special shout out to all of our staff for just the way that within these crazy working conditions, the level and quality of work that we've been doing has been fantastic. Bob may have shared, but I don't think he has yet in total detail. I think he at least kind of shared we're up, but we got the gravestone numbers from the group that we're in, and 3 of the 5 kind of different main categories were actually the top firm, and a couple of those categories were significantly ahead through the first 6 months of the year. To me, that's pretty amazing. I mean, with all the challenges we've been through, to see a real high level quality of work from all of our staff based on the feedback that families are giving, says a lot about the work that everybody here is doing and the way everybody's really focusing on, really helping these families and making this a great experience for them in tough times. So I just wanted to give a special shout out to all of our staff. whether it be the care center, transfer team. I know personally I've had several families in the last couple of weeks that have gone over to be present for the cremation. And Colin, Chuck, and all the staff at Chippenham have done a great job of keeping that facility in great shape, making it just a great experience for families. A lot of times now that ritual can become the only real ritual that our funeral type of rituals that a family's going to have right now. And so it's really important that we really take advantage of these. They're there to help families. So I know it's a lot of hassle and a lot of patience right now on everybody's part, but everybody really is going above and beyond the call of duty. It's just been really good to kind of watch how under really some trying times, how everybody here is, I feel like really risen to the call. It's easy right now, I feel like in life, to get impatient with each other. I know from a family perspective, I can't speak for other people, but Jenny and I always kind of joke each other that I feel like we're ready to kill our kids from time to time. And how we really have to be patient right now with so many unknowns, and especially from the virus part of not knowing when things are going to open back up. But the people we work with each day, everybody's been so patient, so kind, so helping. It's really just it's been a real blessing to have such a great group to work with. So that's kind of my main things for today.